Is this that JPP podcast?
I join LJ and Kevin to talk about the best prop bets for the big game, the best Super Bowl foods, our best Super Bowl memories, and who not to watch with. All that and more this week on part 2 of Just Press Play.
Pregnant ladies and little kids better get the hell out of the way because I am running. I'm like Forrest Gump, dude. I am running. So the Titanic was the biggest ship on the ocean, but that didn't mean it was unsinkable. Okay. All right. I want you each to use ombudsman in a sentence next week. I got one for you. My name is Kevin, the official ombudsman of the Just Press Play podcast. You like apples?
All right, now I'm joined by the one, or I was about to say one and only, but it's two, LJ and Hannah. What's up, guys?
What's up? We are the one and only LJ and Hannah. It's like Turk and JD.
The one and only LJ and Hannah, the one and only duo. So we just got done doing Super Bowl talk with Uncle Tone and Pops, and now I want to get into some more fun stuff with you guys.
Yes.
And we got some fun prop bets, and I actually wanted to start off. Do you guys know how prop bets started?
No clue.
I have no idea.
How the good old proposition bet. So it started in January 29th.
I didn't even know it was a proposition bet. That's new to me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I mean, I'm just laying knowledge on you is what I'm doing. I'm just dropping knowledge.
Bring it. All right.
January 29th, 1986, the New England Patriots were playing the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. And to try and gain a little bit of publicity, odds makers offered a bet on whether Bears defensive lineman, you may have heard of this guy, William Refrigerator Perry,
I've heard of him.
would score a rushing touchdown.
Right.
And they offered 75-1 odds just because. And some people did the bets, and then he did score a touchdown. People won some money, and that sparked a revolution. Yeah. And now, I mean, as we'll get into, there's a prop bet on what color people's tie will be and different stuff.
Wow.
The question is then, if he would not have taken in a touchdown, do you think we'd do prop bets nowadays? I think that's the question.
I don't know. It's kind of like a little revisionist history. If he didn't score and people are just like, oh, that was stupid, I don't like it. But since he did score and some people won, and then other people were like, daggum, I should have done that. I should have bet on that. Now it excited people.
Yeah, I like that.
And now this year, we talked about it a little bit earlier with Pops and Tone, but this year an estimated $4 billion plus will be wagered on the Super Bowl through legal sports betting.
Whoa.
And roughly a quarter of that will come via the prop bet.
Wow.
So prop bets are, Uncle Tony says he's not a prop bet fan because he said it's like him just throwing money out the window.
Well, I was about to say about an eighth of the losses will probably come from a little place in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. Let's get right into it. I want to start. One of the fun prop bets I saw was how many times the broadcast group will mention Sean McVay's age in the game.
Okay.
And the over-under was set at 1.5. And the reason this is fun to me, well, obviously I get why they did it because McVay's 33 years old, just turned 33. He's the youngest coach to ever win a playoff game. He's the youngest coach to be in a Super Bowl.
Right.
And he's half of Bill Belichick's age now, like exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But so at first I thought over 1.5, no doubt. Like they're going to mention it at least twice.
Yeah.
But I think it's specifically how often will they, or how many times will they reference his age? So do they have to say like Sean McVay being 33 years old, or does that, like, what if they just say McVay's half of Belichick's age? That doesn't actually reference the number.
I think, so this is one of those things. Hannah and I were looking at prop bets today, and we had the same problem a lot where it was like, does he has to mention Colin Kaepernick? Does that mean that he has to say the word Colin Kaepernick, or can he say
like the full name?
Right.
Or can he say Cap, or
can he say the quarterback from San Francisco that has been caught kneeling or whatever? Caught kneeling as if he was trying to hide it.
Caught red-handed.
But yeah, I think what I would assume for that one is what was the language? It was references his age.
How many times will the broadcast mention Sean McVay's age? And then also I wondered, is it one back and forth? Like, what if Romo and Nance bring it up in one back and forth and they both mention it? Is that two, or is it like full different conversations, different times? There was no fine print underneath it.
Here's why these prop bets are money you're throwing under the table and never looking for again. is because it's almost always you can see on there it's like subject to bookie's decision.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so
whatever benefits them the most. Yeah.
But
Yeah, however they can win. I mean, they're going to try to make it to where they win money because that's what happens.
But that being
Absolutely.
said, man, I'd feel so stupid if I took the under on that one. I think they've got to mention it more than 1.5 times.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it.
Speaking of Sean McVay's age, when Brady was drafted in the 6th round by the Patriots, good old Sean was 14 years old. That is insane.
That's absurd.
He was just a
crazy.
wee child.
Well, I think
he
I
didn't
saw-
have facial hair yet.
I think I saw that he played against Julian Edelman in college or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
back
that
when
shows
Julian
the
Edelman was
difference
a
in
quarterback
age.
at Kent State, Sean McVay
Yeah.
played him.
Yeah.
That's
So I
absurd.
thought that was kind of neat.
What an age difference.
And then, of course, since we're on Sean McVay real quick, did you see opening night? Well, they do media night now instead of media day because it's a huge ordeal and whatnot.
Sure.
But they were testing McVay's age and they asked him about like the state semifinal game his junior year in high school. And the dude, no hesitation, was like, yeah, it was ace right. We rolled out. We hit a wheel route. I got smacked run through it and the ball was terrible, but he was wide open. So we got a touchdown. Like, the dude I don't understand his brain. Like, how does he remember every single play he's ever been in his entire life?
That's absurd. That's absurd. I don't even remember what I had for lunch today.
Exactly.
What did I have? Do you remember?
Burrito.
A burrito. Yeah, I had a burrito.
I'll ask you some of your favorites, but I have one more Sean McVay one that I wanted to throw out. And that was how many replays or shots will they show of Ted Rath holding back Sean McVay?
Oh my
I
God,
don't
this
know
is
if
my
you've seen that
favorite
Twitter
thing.
video.
Have you seen that, Anna?
I have seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
I love it so
We'll
much.
post it on our show notes for anyone who hasn't seen it. It made the rounds on Twitter over the past week. But the strength coach for the Rams, literally his job is the get back coach. And he's to make sure McVay is a genius and he's smart and all this. But one thing he can't figure out is what sense of where he's at. And he gets in the ref's way all the time. So this guy's like got a hold of his belt buckles, just pulling him back.
Right.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
He'll grab him by the abs and then like give him a tap and then pull. Like he'll just hold him there, ready to go, and then tap and pull as soon as the ref gets close. It's amazing.
And the greatest thing is McVay doesn't even flinch. Like if someone grabs me by the waist, I'm at least like looking back. McVay never takes his eyes off the field.
No.
He's mid-sentence. Like it's just insane.
amazing.
The dude's locked in. And,
It's amazing.
and Rath, give him some credit. He's good at what he does. That dude's head's on a swivel watching the ref the whole time.
I know. And he seems to be watching the game too. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Man earns
So
a
the
paycheck.
over-under's at 1.5. And then again on that one, I was wondering, because it said how many replays of Ted Rath holding back McVay will be shown. Is that is that replays? What if they show it in live time? You know, like we said, it's just all to the bookie's discretion. And how
I would
they
say
can
though,
win,
it's got to
but-
be a replay if they're going to say if the word replay's there. But I'm going to take the under. I think they might mention it and it'll be pregame. But they'll only say it
I
once
think,
during the game.
and that's another thing. Pregame, I think most of these have to be from kickoff to final
0
kneel
seconds in
down
the
or
fourth
whatever.
quarter.
It's
I would
not going to
assume,
be the whole segment they do pregame because pregame starts at like 10:30 in the morning and the game starts at like 6. So there's so much pregame. Ted Rath will probably have a full segment,
Right.
Because
right.
it's just like we mentioned, it's awesome.
Right.
Well, I'm going to take the over though on that
Okay.
one.
All right.
I think it's going to be more than.
See, I think I'm staying under. I think I'm going under on age, under on Ted Rath is where
What do
I
you say about
stand
age,
on
Hannah?
those.
I'm going to go because I know they mentioned his age like 4 times last game.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to take the over on age too.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so for you guys at home, I would take the under hard because all three. It's a clean sweep for us, so we're probably going to be wrong.
Where, if I wanted to make money on this by betting against us, where would I go?
Well, the good thing we mentioned it a little bit off the top, but just in case your mind slipped, we can always jump on my bookie. LJ was going through them earlier. There's like a million pages of different. You can bet on who the first person to score the touchdown, who's the last person to score a touchdown, wins the first pass.
Okay.
We'll get into a lot of them. But
So I'm not going to bring this up,
MyBookie.
but I did see a MyBookie bet that I thought was amazing that I want the people to know about is you can bet on who gets more Steph Curry 3-pointers or Brandon Cooks catches. What a weird bet. I love that. That's amazing.
There's also one on of will James Harden, which will end first, the Super Bowl or James Harden's 30-point game streak, and you can bet on it today.
Wow.
And the dude hasn't scored below 30 since December 20th.
That's amazing.
We're recording this as of Tuesday night, and they're playing the Pelicans. Last I checked, there was like a minute left, and he just got over the 30-point mark. So if someone put money on that one, they were playing a little close. But if you want to bet on it, hit up MyBookie, put in the promo code JPP if you're signing up for the first time, and you will get 50% of the deposit you put. They'll give you a little bonus to throw down. So maybe you want to just put a big bet on the game, but then you want some just fun cash to put on these prop bets. There you go. MyBookie's trying to help out those JPPers out there.
The Just Press players.
So, the Just Press players. So let's get over to you guys. I'll start. Hannah, what's a prop bet you kind of like for the game?
I definitely think so. The first one is the length of the national anthem.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always
so
a good one. What was the time? Did y'all have that?
Yeah, it's over under 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And Gladys Knight is singing it.
Yeah, that's over. Right? Am I crazy?
What is Gladys Knight's nickname? Do y'all know? She's got some cool nickname. The Empress of Soul. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Empress of any woman with the nickname the Empress of Soul, I'm going over on 145.
Well, and like Pink was short last year, right? Like that was the thing. She was under and everybody was shocked.
Yeah.
And she had, I think, a 153 or something like that. Like 145 is not even going to take a.
No.
I
think she was actually. I think Pink's bet was actually 2 minutes. I think.
Yeah, and I think she went under.
And she was under. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so 145
so they're getting a little scared this year, huh?
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just trying to cut the anthem to make it shorter because they don't have enough time.
Well, and how old is Gladys Knight?
Well, the NFL might just want to cut the anthem in general because there's been a little problem with the NFL and the anthem.
True that. Although potentially, I mean, this is not a spoiler. This is just a guess, but maybe she's got to get back to the Masked Singer. Am I right?
That's what I was thinking too. But yeah, if you haven't seen The Masked Singer, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show.
It's fun. She's 74, by the way.
It sounded like Hannah was going over.
I am going over.
My
She's
goodness.
74 years
old. She better
old.
be careful if she goes over.
Yeah.
Oxygen. Might need to go hit some of that oxygen the players hit. Well, LJ, what are you going, over or under?
I got to go over. I think we're probably unanimous on this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're unanimous. I hate the anthem. I always feel like I think it's going to be longer than it is. And maybe this is just last year's bias like we talked about with Pink, but I always think it's going to be so long. And then I get a little shocked because I guess you never really time out the anthem. So even when it seems long during a normal game, that might only be 90 seconds. I just don't actually.
But the other thing is,
the
last time a Super Bowl national anthem was under 2 minutes was like 1993 or something like that. Like it's been a long time since it's been under 2 minute, and they're going 145. Like that's
so odds are she's probably going to go over.
Yeah, I mean, of course, last year was under 2 minutes, but besides that,
and then I can't help but think like some of the ones like we talked about with the McVay age and mentioned by the broadcast, and then like Gladys Knight. Now that prop bets have become such a well-known thing and well-talked about thing, they got to know this in their head, don't they? Like Gladys Knight knows. And then I wonder, can she bet on that? Like she knows how long she's probably going to go.
She has to know.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, surely she can. That's part of I would think that's part of the knowledge. Like Gladys Knight has this information, so she can benefit off of it.
I would think it'd be unethical. I mean, for real, real talk, I would think if I was Gladys Knight, I feel shitty doing it, but I'm also not saying I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, like if I'm Romo up there and I know I'm going to say McVay's age a couple of times, I might just go, all right, let's put a K down on it, just a little extra vacation money.
Yeah.
But if I were them, I wouldn't. I mean, I think that's probably wrong, but
that's fair.
So what's a bet you got, LJ? What's one of the ones you found funny?
Well, one I got excited about was would Andre 3000 join Big Boy on stage?
Yes.
And I think the answer is no, but man, I haven't been more excited for a Super Bowl halftime show since, I don't know, Prince, that's.
Yeah. So my brain is saying no big time because Andre 3000 is so, you just never know when he's going to make a sighting. He's kind of like Bigfoot, but I want it so bad. My heart is screaming. Yes. I want it so bad. As soon as they said it was in Atlanta and it was Maroon 5, I was like, oh my gosh, how are they not going to find a way to get Outkast out there? Then I saw Big Boy on there. So I just assumed Andre would be there 3 or be there 2. And then there's no word about it, but I would just love Big Boy comes out. And then all of a sudden Andre 3 Stacks comes out, man.
Well, and that's the thing is I think he's the kind of man that can keep a secret. He doesn't necessarily need everybody to know he's going to be there. Whereas I feel like,
because Andre 3000 is the kind of guy you haven't heard him in you haven't heard him in a year, and then randomly a feature comes out and he just pops up on you. You're like, whoa, Andre sighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was the big one for me. Wasn't there? Do y'all know? I was looking at some of the odds for. Speaking of halftime, would be like Maroon 5's set list.
Yeah,
and there's everything you can bet on from. I think what Levine will wear. Did y'all find one on what he'll wear?
Well, we got yes or no on the leather jacket because he always wears a leather jacket.
So what's the answer? What's the answer? Let's pick it.
Well, and so I also saw one that said, will he come out in black or another color? Like it was basically black
That's
or the
fair.
field. So if there's one that says leather jacket and black, I kind of think the sounds like the books are all assuming that he'll come out in something. I think I'm choosing black as far as leather jacket or not. Yes, it's gonna be cold in Atlanta. Atlanta's cold just like the rest of America. So I think I'm gonna go yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go no because Adam Levine sweats like crazy. I've seen him in concert.
Okay.
And I know that
we got a little insider knowledge. Okay.
I think he's gonna be, and there's so many lights out there. I think he likes to try new things fashion wise. And this is his first halftime show, right? So I think he's going to do something different fashion wise. Huh. And I don't think he's going to pull the leather jacket. And he might not even have a jacket on at all.
Huh. Okay.
That's my bet.
I was leaning against the leather jacket for similar reasons, but I didn't think he was going to be jacketless. So if you win that, then I feel like you get a bonus point. But, I don't know. I was thinking he might have on like some sort of red, sort of like not
the
leather.
The halftime
coat.
show's all about, putting on a performance, and I don't think Levine's going to put on a performance. So I could see him wearing the jacket just to rip it off. Like it's not going to be on there long.
True.
He's got just to
wears it. He wears it. I mean,
something.
that was the bet. Was anytime.
But I don't think it's going to be leather.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see.
I was looking at which song will Maroon 5 perform first, and it looks like if you're a big fan of the old Maroon 5, She Will Be Loved stuff and the songs about Jane album, they're way down there. I saw those as like big time, like 1,500 for She Will Be Loved. I didn't see any of them.
Oh man,
they were way down there. But the top ones were like One More Night, I think Make Me Wonder, Sugar.
Yeah.
Animal was up there. I don't think there's any way he starts with Animal just because that's a little. It's a little,
You don't
to
think
start
so?
it out with. I don't think you gotta. I know it won't be like She Will Be Loved to start because you gotta start. It's gotta start with something. It's gotta have a good poppy. Get everyone going and real fun. And it might only be for 30 seconds. I'd have to go back and listen almost to see which songs are easy to transition out of. Yeah, because he's only going to start with one, and it's got to be one of those big ones, like you said. I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think Animal has the energy to start the show, but also so does Moves Like Jagger. But I think Animal has, and it's also, I think that's their most popular one.
Which one? Animals?
Animals, yeah. Of the new ones, of like the energetic ones.
Man, I'm leaning towards Sugar.
I hope not. I don't like that song very much.
Just feel like it comes out amped, but fun, but still a little racy. I think it is probably the vibe they want to go for a Super Bowl halftime show. So I think that's where they're starting.
See, I kind of think Moves Like Jaggers are going because, like Hannah mentioned, it's got the upbeat and it's a good starter. Plus, I think it's old. It's just old enough. It's just new enough where it's not like old, but it's old enough to where everyone's probably heard it, whether you're listening to new music or a little like you've heard that at some point. Plus,
guaranteed.
It's Mick Jagger, and all the old Stones fans will like the Jagger thing,
right?
It's kind of down there. It's not like one of the top favorites. It's like the fifth among the best.
You win some money on it for sure.
I did see one because what's the song? Is it Girls Like You that has Cardi B in it? I know there's some odds on. I know we talked about Andre. There's one about will Cardi B show up on stage. I mean, she's kind of the queen right now, Queen Cardi.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and also political Queen Cardi, right? Like she's maybe.
I'm telling you, good Lord, she's going after everybody the past week or so politically.
But the other thing though too that I thought was interesting is I didn't even know the song Mike Jack, but that's a song that Maroon 5 did with Big Boy. I think it's a Big Boy song that Adam Levine was in, maybe.
Okay, I didn't know that song either, and I saw that was like, well, they start with Mike Jack specifically, and I was like, and then I don't even know this song.
And then they have later, will it be performed? And I think the answer has got to be yes, they'll probably perform it if it's a song they did together. I mean, if it was like,
well,
you would think that's got to be the way they bring Big Boy out, right?
I would think so, and I would think they wouldn't do that at the top of the show. I would think.
I've been looking at the lyrics though, and that's going to be hard.
Yeah, well, it is filthy.
It starts
off with a lot of language.
It's filthy. It is like, and it doesn't end. I assume these are Big Boy's parts, like all of his lyrics are like disgusting. So I would not think that any of this would be Super Bowl friendly, except Adam Levine's lines, which are just really short, chorusy stuff.
Yeah. And then I wonder, I think there's one, I didn't actually write it down, but how soon before Travis Scott gets on stage.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I just tried to look it up. I don't see a Travis Scott Maroon 5 song. So they'd have to transition to a Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And then we talked about it beforehand. Will Kendall Jenner show up on stage at all? Or is it Kendall or Kylie?
Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
Kylie Jenner. Yeah.
I might have said
I get
Kendall
some of the
before.
Jenner. I'm not quite up to date on all my Kardashian Jenner knowledge.
Yeah.
I need to do more.
I'm Jenner
research.
blind. You get it?
I get it. Very funny.
Did LJ, did you say before we started recording that you had to look up why that was even possible?
Oh yeah, I had no idea. I saw that odds and it was just like, and the odds were leaning towards no, and I was like, okay, so then why put it? Like, why not put like, is the voice of Fred Flintstone going to pop on stage? Like, it's just like a random celebrity. But I guess her and Travis Scott have been dating for a long time, and there's talks that he's going to propose to her. So that changes things. That makes it more possible.
And plus, she's huge, and she's a Kardashian. She's always finds a way to be in the spotlight. What better way to get in the spotlight than Super Bowl Sunday halftime show? I mean, you got a lot of eyeballs on you.
Yeah, unless she's got to get back to the Masked Singer too.
I don't think she's on the Masked Singer.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, the camera might cut to her somewhere in the stadium, but I don't think she's going to be. I hope for the halftime show. Surely it won't, because I don't think there's quite anyone. I mean, I guess Adam Levine's pretty dang huge, but I want another moment like Justin Timberlake where the selfie kid. Remember, he takes a selfie and the kid acts like he's so unamused.
Yes.
I want another moment like that. Now that selfie kid has like, I don't know, it's like 1 million something followers on Twitter, and it's all because of a stupid picture with Timberlake.
Well, I got your moment.
Crazy.
I got your moment. So there's like a 90% chance, I think, that Maroon 5 plays a song. I think it's called Sweet Victory from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything about this?
No, I have not.
Okay, so the creator of SpongeBob died like 6 months ago or 3 months ago or something like that. And so a lot of fans of the show, which I'm a fan of the show, I love the show, but they like started petitioning to try to get the song Sweet Victory to be played at the Super Bowl halftime show. They ended up with like some 500,000 signatures or something ridiculous. And also, I know for a fact that the voice of Squidward is going to be a part of the halftime show. I think he might announce them or something. So this is probably going to happen. It's probably going to be a song from SpongeBob that everybody's going to have to listen to. And I guarantee you about, 7/8 of the audience is not going to care about some song from a kid's show. So I think that's going to be your awkward moment, is everybody in the audience being like, why? What's going on here? Yeah. So I think that's your moment.
This is his second year, and now he's, and it's just because it happens to be CBS. Is this his second, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and he'll be doing the big game. I mean, I wonder if he's got a little nerves on him. A little nervous.
Well, I mean, he's never done well in the playoffs before, so he's done too well so far. He might be a little.
Okay.
Did you see T.O. fire some shots? T.O. fired some shots against his quarterback.
What?
Yeah, he fired.
What did he say?
I saw earlier today, I think, Terrell Owens says Tony Romo is great in the booth as opposed to what he did on the field.
Low blow from a friend. Come on, Terrell.
And then threw out something along the lines of he doesn't throw interceptions at the end of games from the booth or something like that.
Yikes.
Yeah. Ouch. So, which is to say this is going to have to get
Terrell,
cut, because we do not accept slander on this podcast, I believe.
Yeah, we don't accept Tony slander. We don't accept Romo slander, and I don't like it. So let's talk about how awesome Tony Romo is. Did you see there was a I think y'all mentioned before we started recording, just when will Tony correctly predict his first game or first play?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What was did they have like, I mean, I guess you just pick a quarter or?
Yeah, but the money is saying he's going to do it early and he's going to do it a lot. But I tend to agree, but I'm going to go second to make a little extra money.
Well, there's also how many plays will Romo correctly predict during the game?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Can you guess the number? Can y'all guess what the number is?
Over under 15 will be my guess.
Wow, that high?
Yeah, because he got 6 in the fourth quarter of that last game of the championship.
He did, yeah.
So
Hannah,
if he got 6 per
guess?
quarter, that's going to be 24.
I don't think he's gonna do 6 every quarter though.
Me neither.
I think I'm gonna go with 8.
Well, Hannah's a lot closer. It's at 7.5 is what the over-under set at. And that's going a little bit off of last week, or in the championship round. He got 12 of his 15 predictions right, and ended as we've noted. He ended on that heater where he got 7 right or 8 right in a row to end the game.
6 in 6 minutes or something like that. Yeah.
And it is the Patriots again. He obviously knew a little, but I don't think he comes right out early because it's kind of hard to tell. I think when you get him in those no huddle 2 minute, he just knows how the Patriots do their no huddle offense. I think he might, but 7.5 is a lot. And maybe he kind of backs off it a little bit because he'd look real bad if in the Super Bowl he tries to predict 15 of them and gets 3 right or something. He might kind of
needs to. If he's going to be Tony Romo, he's got to be Tony Romo in the Super Bowl just like he does in the regular games. So
yeah.
I mean, it's not like, as T.O. tried to state, it's not like he's not willing to take a chance. We've seen that a couple times late in games.
Sir.
And then there was a Will Nance or Romo say Philly special at any point in the game. I guess that if there is any play like the Philly special, they'll definitely reference it.
Will anyone mention Trump during the halftime show? Is that interesting to either of you?
I think it's interesting if someone does. I don't think anybody will.
Yeah.
He's actually, the president is having, I think, either before or after the game. I think it's before the game. He's having his first cable television. I don't know, some kind of big interview he's doing with CBS right before the game or something.
Huh.
So I mean,
okay.
Maybe
okay.
I wouldn't think during the game. I wouldn't bet there's any mention of the president just because I bet they told Nance and Romo.
If it's before, it depends on what he says.
True, but I could just see them go like CBS, which I'd hate to try to censor anyone, but I could just say I could see Romo and Nance both to each other saying, let's just stay off because it's the Super Bowl. It's supposed to be fun.
Well, no, but they're professionals, but this is about the halftime show though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is specifically the halftime show. Was the prop
I could
bet.
see that wouldn't shock me. I don't think they will, but it wouldn't shock me near as much. I thought it was just like Nance and Romo, and I was like, yeah, they're not going to do it just because what good can really come from it?
Right.
And so, Kev, his interview is a pre-Super Bowl interview.
Makes it more interesting.
And it's with CBS, not Fox, which he would normally do a Fox one.
Interesting.
So I know it was kind of a big deal yesterday. I saw it kind of get in the news cycle that he's going to do it. And if he said some kind of, he's been known to, speak his mind, I suppose is one way to say it. And I could see it if it riled up someone, they might make a statement at halftime. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I could see that.
On the field, they had I saw one that was pass attempts from Tom Brady, and they put the over under at 37.5 is what I saw. That might have changed since.
Oh my God.
That seems high to me.
That does seem high.
Wow.
I would take the under.
Part of me says, maybe go over because the Tom Brady and the Patriots now, instead of deep shots, they kind of beat you with quick passes. We mentioned this earlier with Uncle Tony, and he kind of mentioned a bunch of quick short passes. So that would lean towards more attempts. Yeah. But the way the Patriots have kind of been winning is Sony Michel and a lot of running and clock management. 37.5, that's a lot of throws. I mean, I could see it, but
yeah.
And then there was Jared Goff interceptions. I saw 0.5 for how many interceptions he would throw. So basically, you're saying, will he throw one?
Will he throw any?
I think probably. Bill Belichick tricks him once.
Yeah.
And then one of the ones I really liked was, will my man, James Devlin, the neck roll fullback, score a touchdown? And yes, it's plus 1,200. So you're really going out on a limb, but.
Okay. I would take, if I had a few pennies to throw, I wouldn't throw big money at it because I got to pay rent. But I would take some money on that.
Part of me just kind of likes, I think LJ, you've instilled this into me, and it might be the old Mike Allstott days, but I just love a good fullback and a neck roll. It just doesn't get much better than that.
Like it, yeah. It's fantastic.
And then Super Bowl MVP, obviously the quarterbacks were the top two. Then it was, I think, Gurley. We mentioned this last year. The first defensive player mentioned was Aaron Donald.
Okay,
I guess you just maybe a couple. The only thing is, Aaron Donald's probably not scoring a touchdown. He might cause some fumbles and get some sacks, but usually to win a defensive MVP, you need a pick six or a scoop and score.
But I don't know. If you just dominate the game, maybe recover a fumble, didn't Von Miller get an MVP without a touchdown?
Didn't he strip Cam Newton and pick the ball up?
Oh, did he score? Okay. I don't know. Maybe. He had a hell of a game for 8 different reasons. But I think that was kind of my point is you can do it if you dominate the position. But Ndamukong Suh's been doing better than him for the past couple. So
he did get one.
He got a touchdown. Okay.
Interestingly, I saw, I don't know if this says more about the Patriots defense either not being as talented or maybe just the fact that they do it with a lot of role players, not necessarily one big name. But their first player mentioned was Trey Flowers at plus 10,000, former Arkansas Razorback. But ahead of him, they had both Greg the Leg and Gostkowski. Both kickers were ahead of the first Patriots defensive player. I mean, I don't know if that means the Patriots defense isn't as talented, like I said, or does that just mean there's just a lot of...
There's not a big name on it.
Every guy makes at least one play,
it's closer to a no-name defense than a no defense because they played a good defense sometimes. But there's nobody on it that's just like an all-star. One
I kind of like, just if you're throwing out, if you want to go on someone with long odds, was possibly like Tony said he thought maybe earlier he said maybe Julian Edelman, and I see Julian Edelman as plus 2,500. Hey, I kind of like Gronk at plus 3,500. Yeah.
If he has
I just could see
better than decent game, he's got a good shot at getting it too, because I think a lot of people see this as his last game.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and he mentioned, they asked him about it last night, and he didn't necessarily sound like he was leaning towards it being his last game, but it doesn't sound like he has any clue for sure. He said he'll think it over in the offseason. So, I mean,
he doesn't have a clue a lot about things going around him. So
I could see Gronk thinking, all right, here's my last chance. I'll go out with a big bang. Me and Tom win a Super Bowl and then go to the WWE or do
He said he didn't want to do that, by the way. He said he wanted to act, was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Wrestling's out of the question, which is a bummer for me.
Yeah, and I want to act too, or I want to play quarterback, but I'm sitting here doing this. So, do y'all have any singular ones, or y'all want to? Did y'all have the actual game itself, like the teams?
I mean, I've got the line and the over under. Yeah, if you want that.
Yeah, what we got? What are we looking at?
All right, so the game is supposed to be Patriots win by 2.5. So I think on that, I'll probably take the Patriots losing the points personally. I think that they're going to win this game by more than 2.5. What do you guys think?
I think my prediction, I have to look on my piece of paper. We had predictions earlier with Pops and Tone, and I think I went Patriots 30-26.
Okay.
So I guess I'm going.
Yeah, you'll take that.
Going Patriots and covering.
All right, Hannah, what do you think?
So I'm actually going to go Rams.
Okay, like straight up?
Straight up.
Wow,
and,
okay. I like it.
And
that's a spicy.
Yeah, I mean, I have faith in them. I'm going Rams, and I think I'm going to go the under 58.
Yeah, so that was the other thing. Is the over under is 58. So I'm taking Kevin's taking the under, obviously, right? With your 56, you said total points.
What?
I said 30-24, so or 30-26, so 56. Yeah,
so
you're
54,
right. You're right.
God,
you're just right. I'm just wrong. Hannah doubted you, so I just assumed you were wrong.
Sorry, don't trust me very often.
I'll be the weirdo. I'll take the over on this one because I think both teams can get out and score, and I don't think either team is. I mean, I know that Tony's going to say that it's the best two defenses in the league, but they don't tend to stop a lot of people from scoring. They make big plays, but they don't stop a lot of scoring, in my opinion.
That's fair.
But so I'm going to take the over. And that's what I got in the game. Although I would love to see I think the Rams can win it. So I would love to see your bet come true.
I think, yeah.
But you're taking Patriots, LJ?
I'm taking the Patriots and I'm taking the over. Yeah.
So Tom Brady wins him another one. Yeah. Like he doesn't have enough.
Look, when was the last time that I correctly said the Patriots were going to lose a game? I think it happened in, 2012 or something. I don't know. So
that's what I told Pops. I was like, you know what? I think the Rams are probably more talented, and I see a way they can win pretty easily. But I'm done betting against stupid number 12 and Bill Belichick until they retire, because I'm like you. I've been wrong so many times on it's just Tom Brady's done.
Funny.
So let's get off the field and how we will celebrate the Super Bowl. I wanted to ask you guys, what's your favorite? Let's start with you, Hannah. Best Super Bowl food.
I mean, hot wings are awesome.
Yeah.
And wings are just,
We've actually got some of that stuff for the
boneless? Is there a
great question?
Oh, bone in. Yeah.
Yes, all day.
Bone in.
All day.
See, I am the exact opposite. I want boneless for the Super Bowl because I want to be able to kind of go back and forth and eat. I don't want to get all messy and nasty because I'm going to be in front of the TV and I'm probably
eating on my lap. Do you wear a tuxedo? What are you doing?
Yeah, but when I eat, I don't know. I just want to have that bone in, and I probably want to get some ranch and dip. And,
boneless, not bone in, right?
Boneless, boneless. Because bone in.
What do you eat it with a fork? Do you eat it with a fork?
Or a toothpick?
No, I eat it with my hand. But I'll say when I eat a bone in wing, I don't know. I don't do this in front of people too often because I become like an animal. I feel like a caveman eating it. Like I try to make sure I get everything off of it, and I'm like making sure I get every little bit, and then picking. Oh, I got a little bone in my mouth, and I'm picking that out of my teeth and mouth.
Hey, anybody that is judging you for that doesn't deserve to have you at their party. That's all I'm saying. Well, that's part of the Super Bowl.
No, I get it, but that's also why I like wings, like with the bone in, because I just feel like an animal eating it, and it's just so satisfying.
Yeah.
But no, I get why you don't want to do that. I don't do.
But you look beautiful and graceful when you do it. Just so you know.
Don't lie to the public. I turn into an animal. but I'm with you, Kevin. I don't order it in front of people. Like I don't order it when we're out in a restaurant because I just make a fool out of myself. I just get
when I'm getting the bone in, I'm getting those suckers to go.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go home and I'm about to just munch.
Yeah,
exactly.
And also, I'm a big fan of dipping, and you can't. It's hard to dip bone in wings.
That's fair.
Is it? You do a fine job.
Harder.
I don't dip the bone in wings. Really? I just eat them. Yeah.
I mean, I don't either, but I don't dip anything.
No, but I'm with you. I guess I just don't. Yeah, I don't dip the wings with the bone in. I do dip the boneless ones though. I don't know.
So Tony mentioned his favorite was a good 7-layer dip was what he wants at every Super Bowl party.
Hey, he's not.
And so I was going to ask you guys, when it comes to dip, LJ, what kind of, if you can only choose one dip, what are you going with?
Oh, that meaty Velveeta, Rotel, like just.
I think that's what Dad said too. He couldn't get over a good queso with some kind of meat in there, some beef or sausage.
Although I will say it's not exactly a dip, but Hannah's mom makes these meatballs with like chili and cranberry or something like that.
Oh,
and so the sauce that comes out of it, you can just cover any piece of like bread-like material you've got on your plate. And you're going to be happy about it.
Just anything to get that to your mouth.
Delicious, yeah.
I thought you were going to say her spinach dip, which is what yours. My favorite dip is my mom's spinach dip.
Well, I'm a dip kind of a big dip fan, and I figure you guys are too. Hannah, what do you think? Are you kind of a thick chip person, a thin chip? How do you feel about your chips?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I think so I'll eat tortilla chips, but they're too thick for me. I like thin, like the Mission chips. They're a bit too thick. I like the thin. So I think I go thinner. But I like a nice kettle cooked chip. So, but it's just a harder consistency. It's not necessarily thick. So I don't mind the crunch. I just don't like the thickness, I guess. Yeah, I like thinner. But dipping does get messy.
I see LJ shaking his head over there.
Yeah.
I violently disagree.
Let me hear.
Because I want more dip than I've got chip. So it needs to be a hefty chip. I need my chip to be so thick that the room hollers when it walks in. I mean,
you need a thicker than an Alaskan sweater.
See, I do too. I like a lot of dip, but I think you just have to practice. Because you can get, I can fit a lot of dip on a thin chip if you're good at it.
This is where I can tell this is where Hannah differs from me and you, LJ, is there's not a lot of thinking. We just want a lot of dip on that chip.
Yep.
And when I go in with the thin chip, it breaks, and then I got to go in with the rescue chip and try to dive in there and get it. And now, because I'm at a Super Bowl party, and I look like I'm just digging through the dip with my fingers, and I look nasty, and everyone's judging me.
Usually, what happens is it happens because you're like, well, I'm not going to get like a little bowl for this dip. I'm going to just get one chip, which is the fourth one you've done tonight, but still, and then it breaks at that moment.
That's a very modest number.
This happens every 4 or so times, but that chip breaks. Yeah. And then you've got to go in and save it in the community bowl. And that's where the issue comes in.
Why aren't you putting your dip? Don't dip out of the community bowl. Put your dip on a plate.
I'm just getting one. This is all 20 of those times.
This is great because we mentioned this and Tony told me there's a rule. Did you know that there's a rule from when you can dip in the communal dip?
No.
When the host does it.
Well, he says before halftime, it's never a good call to dip in the communal dip. Just get your plate and put a little on there. But once halftime show's over and we start the second half, all bets are off. We got to stay in front of the TV. It's okay to go one and done and get back in front of the TV. And
okay,
I like going communal. I'm like LJ. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to do it one time, 20 times.
Yeah,
but
well, the other thing is you get like that little ramekin or something to put some cheese in, and then like you have to like dig around in it where you could just get a full chip. You know, you don't have to have this like little dregs chip that you're trying to clean your bowl out with. and then wash later? No.
Or put it on a plate then. Put it on your plate then, and then you have all the room in the world to like.
Yeah, but then you're
But
scraping
then do
it
I
off.
keep that plate with me or do I throw it away? Because I know I'm going to get more chips and then I'm wasting plates. Now I'm just trying to conserve the environment really is
And
what
the
I'm
other
doing.
thing, well, and thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that. The other thing is like, I'm not.
Salute to service.
When we're talking about a big, thick chip that needs for a hefty dip, I'm talking about a dip that's 2 inches tall. Like you can't get that off of a plate. Like you can't pour that much onto your plate first off without people being
You're
upset
preaching
at
to
you.
the choir over here, buddy.
And then once you do pour enough, you can't get that big of a scoop because it's going to just slide right off of your plate. Like it's not going to happen.
Yep.
I get that. I
And now
disagree.
I'm like over here doing these. I mean, I know they can't see us home, but I'm like trying to move my plate up. And
Right.
yeah. See, the thing is, I'm a scooper, not a dipper. So I need to go fully into that bowl. I need to
I'm
scoop
with you.
that sucker
There it is.
out.
That's the way to put it. Yeah. Hannah's a dipper. She's
I'm
a
a
pro
dipper.
dipper. She's one of the best dippers in the world, but I scoop.
I'm a dipper.
And there's just nothing elegant about what I'm doing with this chip and this dip. I'm scooping out as much as I can possibly fit onto this thick ass chip, and I'm trying to get it to my mouth without getting. I'm probably going to end up with some kind of spot on my shirt or pants.
Yep. And
I
my
know,
face is
that's
already
fine,
covered with
but
wing
it just
sauce.
happens.
That's
It's part of the Super Bowl. Yeah. I didn't eat the buffalo wings. I didn't eat the bone-in wings because I wanted to stay clean, but I got cheese and salsa all over my
All over
shirt.
your bow tie. Yeah.
How do you guys like to watch the game? Are you kind of like to order some stew and maybe have friends over at the house, or do you like to go to a big Super Bowl party or go to a restaurant? I assume you're probably watching the game together, but
That's one of my caveats.
This time we are. This year we are.
It depends on who's in it.
Yeah. No, we like to host. So
Yeah.
I like to have, it's a Sunday. I don't like to leave my house on Sundays if
Yep.
I have to work on Monday. So, especially for like late at night, the Super Bowl will end a little late, for me anyway. And so I'd like to stay home. So yeah, I think, I'd rather host or have it just the two of us.
I think that's fair. I'm about the house party. It can be our house. I'm totally happy doing it at our place, but I'm also very down to go to somebody's place or whatever. But like, my ideal situation is to be around somewhere between 4 and 10 people. And there needs to be a pretty good amount of food. It can be bought. It can be delivered. I don't care. But as long as there's food and people that I like, I'm happy as can be. Like that's better than the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
See, that's where I kind of stand. I kind of stand with that. This year, actually, I won't be going to like a big party. I might go watch it with a few friends, but I have work the next morning pretty early, so I won't be able to. But like last year was perfect. We had a big Super Bowl party, and it wasn't. I love going to a big like house party kind of Super Bowl party, but I don't want the crowd to get too much. Like going to a restaurant or going to some place where there's 30 plus people, it becomes almost more of, need to talk and say hi to people. Where I like it, if you can get a good 10, 15's okay, if it's good friends. Yeah. But I like it where you can sit there and you might not talk to this person until the third quarter, but then I just don't want it. I'm there to watch the game and then hang out with everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want just to hang out. And plus, as we mentioned, I'm eating the dip straight out of the communal bowl, so I'm hoping we're good friends. I don't want to be there with like my boss or something.
Right. Your boss and your lawyer invite you to a party.
I'm busy. I'm sorry. I'm busy.
Try and do some hood shit with my hood friends.
Plus, I kind of like having that's a little bit smaller of a group. So just in case like there is a good commercial or we want to turn up the halftime show, we can turn it up and we can hear some of the stuff. Plus, I personally, maybe it's my little bit of man love I have for Tony Romo, but I want to hear some of Tony Romo on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, what is LJ? We'll go with you first. What is your earliest or best Super Bowl memory? You can go either one.
Okay, so
or you can say both.
The best one,
Broncos winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the best one was actually the recent Broncos victory. We had just moved to Chicago, We also had friends over. We had just gone to the grocery store, gotten some beer, and then came back to our little tiny apartment. And it just felt like, the beginning of a new era to me. And obviously we saw how it went for the Broncos, but for the Luthringer family, it seems to have gone pretty well. So that was pretty exciting, but I do want to throw out the earliest one was I remember seeing a lot of Janet Jackson on the wall of a church gymnasium. So so that's probably the earliest one that I really like paid a lot of attention to. Although I was out of the room when it happened.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, I was getting chips and I got a couple from the communal bowl and it took me a few seconds longer than it probably should have. And I
Why
just
you have a plate?
missed it.
That's why you have a plate.
Yep, I just missed it. But
Oh.
but yep, at Williams,
Pops was actually at that Super Bowl and he missed it using the bathroom
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
in Houston.
Oh,
What
man.
about you? Either
Hannah,
you?
what about you? What's your best Super Bowl memory and then your earliest?
So, my earliest one, was I think Janet Jackson, and I remember we had a family party, and so there were I was the oldest of the cousins, so, and I was young, and so I think there were a lot of little children there, and my brother, who's only 2 years younger than me. So my parents, I remember all the adults freaking out. I was in the room when it happened, so I definitely saw it. But all of my family just hit. My grandparents were there, all four of them, and they were just flipping out. So that was fun. But that's my earliest one. But my best one, my dad would make. So he makes these wings. They're called turbo wings, and he's been making them since he was in college. And they're so hot. They're just Louisiana hot sauce, but with habaneros cut up inside the. So you chop up habaneros and you put it in it's butter, Louisiana hot sauce, and habaneros. And you mix it up and let it simmer. And the longer you let it simmer, the hotter it gets because the oil extracts from the habaneros.
Oh my God.
So it's practically like eating fire. But so he would like boil them. So he and his college buddies did this and like it was a competition. So when I was old enough, when I was old enough, he and I would compete in like who could eat the most of these wings, and
I like how there's an age requirement. These wings are like PG-13 or something.
Well, for
She
real
had to
though,
sign a release.
I think I was when he started.
If
doing
not,
it,
then you're gonna put like a 5-year-old in pain and just
No, for
have
real.
bad dreams about these wings.
well, and so I think my earliest memory of that, I think I was like, but he would make these wings every so often. I didn't connect it with the Super Bowl until I was a little older, but I think we started having these competitions when I was like 10 or 11.
Mm.
And so, but yeah, my best one was probably when I beat him, when I ate 8 wings and he could only handle 6.
Ooh.
And
Down goes Benji.
yeah. Yeah. So I remember when I don't remember what year it was, but I remember me beating him and having bragging rights for a full year.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
And now that's where the heartburn
I can just hear Benji kind of like in his head listening to this.
Yeah.
I can just hear him going, well, I let her win. You know, it's my daughter. I had to give her
Right.
one win or something.
No.
She had a rough month.
Yeah, she had No. My father does not
The
let anyone
49ers
win.
were bad that year.
I know. No. He doesn't let anybody win. Well,
that reminds me of somebody.
Yeah, me. Kids are gonna have memories of like, Mom, finally, I won, finally. But
And you'll say, well, I let her.
oh yeah, but I wouldn't have. Yeah. Well, they burn your lips. Like these wings are like, whew. But yours.
My first Super Bowl memory, and this is weird that mine would be, but I think I'm saying one that's before y'all's, but I don't really remember like the intricacies of the game. I just remember that I was watching it, and it was it was funny. It was the Rams and Patriots
Yeah.
way back on Tom Brady's
Yeah.
first Super Bowl. And I just remember because I was rooting for the Rams just because we would play Madden back then, and the Rams were like the best team on Madden.
Oh, yeah.
And me being the youngest, I wasn't great at all, so I was still trying to pick the best team. So I felt like I had an affinity towards Marshall Faulk and that Rams team.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember Tom Brady, and I think I remember seeing this as when I was young, but also I've probably seen the highlight a million times. But him when young Tom Brady after he won the Super Bowl and he's wearing that gray shirt and he puts his hand up and the confetti's falling all over him.
Yeah.
I've seen the highlights so much because Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl every other year.
Yeah.
But that one I think is the first one. But then I try to think back. I can't remember a single play. I can't remember how the game went. I have to look up highlights to remember how the game went.
You asked like the first Super Bowl I remember, and it's definitely like, I can't remember the order of these, but like there are definitely ones earlier than that. I mean, there was the Raider one before that. Raider and
the Raiders
Bucks.
and Bucks.
Yeah, I remember that one existing, and I remember the Bucks just destroying them, and I remember learning later about John Lynch knowing every play that they were calling and stuff like that. but like I
Yeah.
don't remember the game that much. Like I don't remember watching it. I just know that I did. Like I know for a fact I did. Whereas that, I remember watching that Super Bowl because I remember that halftime show being such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the company I was
And as
around
far
with.
as best Super Bowl memory, I don't really have just one that was crazy over others. I mean, the Cowboys won their Super Bowls when I was alive, like when
Yeah.
I was like a little bitty
Good
baby.
memories.
I think
Yeah.
I was maybe 2 or 1 when they won that last one in that little trilogy. I mean, I really enjoyed last year's game. It was just it was really good. The Eagles won. The game was fun. We had a big Super Bowl party with a couple of the friends, and it was like we talked about earlier, the right number. It was the sweet spot of, I don't remember how many people were there, but it was just the right enough people. We had just enough seats for everyone. It was a blast and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But really, I don't just have one Super Bowl. It's not like I get you completely. The Broncos winning that game was, if you're a Broncos fan, that was probably as good a game as any to ever watch. So that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now you probably don't like the Seahawks Patriots one or the Seahawks Broncos one near as much.
In fact, if you want to talk about the worst person to watch a game with, we could go there. Right. That's a great segue.
Yes.
Was it that game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, without calling out any specific names, a family member of Hannah's decided that she was a Seahawks fan that day.
Last minute.
I don't think she had ever watched football before, but so as soon as the safety happened,
Wasn't that
first
like the
offensive
first
play.
drive?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. She turned to me and she was like, "Oh, I thought the Broncos were good this year," and I was like, "Okay." That was the first play. It was an accident.
Oh.
Shit happened.
She was harsh.
And then for the rest of the game, every time she talked to me, I had to pour another drink. Like it was just like,
So
she was
after
the
that
world's
safety,
biggest
you thought,
Seahawks fan.
Okay, here's a funny joke. We're gonna be funny, and then you didn't realize that was the opening to the downpour of just.
Oh my God.
horrible.
I ended up walking away from the game, not because I couldn't watch the game anymore, because I could still take that torture because the Broncos are in the Super Bowl. You get over it. But because I could not deal with the trash talk coming from caddy corner to my right the whole game.
Oh, and she
long.
didn't move. She stayed with him. Every time he got up, she got up to follow him upstairs to like harass him. And he kept like whispering to me like, "You've got to get her away from me. 'Cause I'm going
I love
to
her to
hurt
death.
her."
I do love this woman. I just, oh my God.
Oh, it was rough.
See, I do think that can kind of fit as the worst person to watch the game with. I'm all good for a little like fan banter, and if
Yeah.
you know like.
Oh yeah.
Cody McGee's a Patriots fan, so like I'm gonna give him crap. Tom Brady
Gross.
throws an interception. I'm like, oh, Tom Brady's done or whatever,
Yeah.
But well, Cody's more of a Cowboys, but he likes Tom Brady. But I like that slander. But at some point, if someone like, especially like if someone's like, it'd be like if I was watching the Cowboys. I'm all good with taking some crap, but you don't have every single bad play. Give me a second to breathe. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, and realize that this is actually serious for me.
Yeah,
You
right.
just became
You
a fan
walked into
today.
this. I've lived this.
Yeah, and this has been my favorite team for like all my life.
Well, in
so.
the last like 8 months, my entire mood has been set on will they make it to this day?
Yeah.
And they do. And for the past 8 months, you didn't know football existed. It mattered zero
I
to
lived
you.
through
Yeah.
Brock Osweiler to get to this moment.
Yeah. But I did want to throw out another worst that I'd thought about. Just another type of person. And it's the person that only came to the Super Bowl party because they're a fan of the halftime performer.
Yeah.
And they talk loudly all game long, and they're turning on music, and they're playing their ringtones. They're doing all that stupid shit. And then halftime comes on, they turn up the volume and yell at anybody that makes too much noise.
Like, whoa. The past 30 minutes you've been
Yeah.
talking.
Right. Or, I mean, and inversely, it's the people that have to hush everybody because a commercial came on.
Well,
Either way, no, we're talking. This is a party. You're talking
Yeah.
over the football. We're all talking. That's
well, and
fine.
that happened to us a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When we hosted a party with the other roommates had some friends over, and one of their friends was like that.
Yeah.
And that was my list. Like that was my thing. That like the person who didn't care about the Super Bowl but just is just watching it for the commercials or halftime show, which is fine. But then go with the people who are doing it for that,
Yeah.
and don't shame us for not watching it the
Yeah.
way you want to watch it. Especially if you're over
Yeah.
at someone else's house. Like you can't commandeer the.
So that's your worst.
Yeah, that's definitely someone. Yeah, someone who's. Well, I mean, and it's not their fault that they want the opposite thing, but it's how you handle it. You know.
Right. Treat
Like-
everybody else's time with respect.
Yeah.
I think my worst is and I kind of referenced this a little earlier when we were talking squares with Pops and Tony, but the what if guy or girl, and it's the not necessarily the squares, but just in general, like what if Tom Brady throws the ball and then catches it himself and then runs in a touchdown, or what if you bet all this money on Dexter Jackson winning the Super Bowl MVP when the defensive guy won it for the Bucks? Like just what if whatever? I mean, we didn't. I just then when it comes to squares, it's that person who's like, all right, so what if the Patriots score and don't get the 2-point conversion, and then the Rams kick a field goal? Then my number's correct. It's like
all I need. That's the other version is the all I need person.
Yeah.
Yeah, the all I need and what if person. Like it's all. I like a good what if every now and then, but it kind of goes to. I mean, I might have been somewhat of this fan back in the day, like when I predicted every single play, like interception here, kind of thing. And you grow out of that stage, or at least you should. And some just don't. And I'm like, don't be the what if person at the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Wholeheartedly.
Man, I'm excited for this game. I think it'll be fun. I think Patriots Rams seems like a real fun matchup. You get kind of the old Brady and Belichick against the young like Goff and McVay, and I just think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to watch it. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, same.
I am too.
This should be a good one. Oh, and hey, just real quick. Happy 1 year of podcasting to everybody in this room,
baby,
and to the young gentleman on the other side of this podcast. I mean, congratulations to us, and thank you, listeners. That's fantastic.
Yeah, congrats. More importantly, thank you everyone who's stuck with us for a year and listened with us, whether you've been since day one or you came in a little later. Either way, I mean, we appreciate everybody, and it's just fun to sit around and talk with you guys. I can't wait.
This was supposed to be a test, and we've done it for an entire year, so it's not going to die anytime soon. So let's just see if maybe it'll have to be a thing where we talk about. I don't know if our 1 year is always going to be talking about the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Maybe I don't know if there's any difference in the world, but yeah, shout out 1 year for the JPP. We appreciate it. Everybody listening to us, and keep making us a part of your day. And then, by the way, go unsubscribe and then resubscribe if you could over on iTunes. Leave us comments anywhere. You just Google Just Press Play, and even if we don't come up, leave a comment there.
Yep.
Make sure everybody knows that they should check out a podcast called Just Press Play.
Yeah, so I want to say thanks to Pops and Tone for jumping on a little earlier, and thanks to you guys. I think this is a good pod, good Super Bowl preview, and we got a lot here, but if you stuck around, it's been a lot of fun, and we'll check back in after the pod. You got anything else for our parting shots?
I just wanted to say we don't have time to get into it, but bring back old Super Bowl logos. They are garbage. They've been garbage for like 8 years. Bring them back, please, NFL. That's all I got to say. Look it up. We'll put it in the show notes, damn it.
Glad we got time for an LJ rant right there at the end.
Yeah, there we go.
A little mini rant, but
LJ, do you want to talk a little? Anthony Davis says he wants to be traded and he's not signed an extension. You want to talk some 2020?
So what I was thinking about that is, I don't know. Honestly, didn't a trade get thrown out there or something? Like there's like a trade.
He demanded a trade. He's demanding.
I thought I saw that maybe
poor
somebody
New Orleans Saints fans.
Yeah.
not yet. New Orleans just is living in a rough time. That's another Super. Oh, before we go, I saw LJ. I think you and Hannah might have watched the Firefest documentary, or at least know
we
about
haven't
it.
yet. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a line, a prop bet that says, "Will Firefest organizer Billy McFarland be caught selling counterfeit Super Bowl tickets?"
Well, did you see your boys at Barstool aren't allowed to do Super Bowl stuff anymore?
Got kicked out.
Yeah, because they had fake
they got kicked out of the. Yeah.
Oh.
They were at opening night and they got escorted out.
Yikes.
Well, I think so. Now they're not allowed to cover the Super Bowl in any meaningful live way anymore. Like they're covering it with just as much credentials as we have now.
Wow.
But that's kind of their shtick. That's what they. Yeah. I think they wanted to get kicked out because they can say like, "Oh, the NFL doesn't want Barstool Sports a part of it," you know.
That's fair.
They don't. But
all right. Well, I think that'll do it for this week's big JPP pod. A little two-parter for you guys with everything going on for Super Bowl week. Guys, I will talk to you later. Peace out.
Peace.
Don't forget to check out our other episode this week where Tony joins Pops and Kevin to break down the key matchups of the Super Bowl.